Hi there, and welcome to day 5 of December Daily Ornaments. For this one, I decided to take some wooden clothespins, which I got at the dollar store, and I am taking them apart. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we used to play with wooden clothespins all the time and make different things from them. So I took a bunch apart, and then I am going to get some wooden glue and glue them together opposite of what they're usually like when you buy them. So this is how you would buy them. I'm just turning both pieces around, and I'm going to glue those sides together. And for each, we're making a snowflake. And for each snowflake, we'll need 8 sets of these. I didn't feel like I was using a lot of glue, but no matter how much I put on, I would still get some glue oozing out. So I just took a baby wipe that I had on hand that was dry and wiped the excess glue off. And I did it right away so it wouldn't harden, because then you would have to sand it off, and I did not want to do any sanding. So that is all I do. I glue those together 8 times for each snowflake. Now it's time to shape them together like a snowflake. So I had to do one more because one of the other ones were separated too much at the tip, and I didn't like it. And I had lots of extra clothespins. I bought 2 packs. For this, I only made 3. Like I said, when I'm done, I'll probably go back and make more of my favorites, but right now I'm kind of crunched for time. I have a lot going on, so I'm only making one or a few of each one every day. So I'm just playing around with the placement until I get it the way I want it, and then I'll just add wooden glue to put them together. And I let this dry overnight so it was good and set, and I had no problems with any of them except for one snowflake. And for that one the next day, but I dropped it on the floor as well. Now, I didn't try dropping the other ones on the floor to see if they would stay together, so I don't know if, because the one that did break, I could kind of tell that, I wouldn't have been surprised if it did, because of the way a certain area of it was joined together. It just didn't look like there was a good enough bond, and that is where it broke. So instead of getting the wood glue out again, I just used my hot glue gun to put it back together. And you can do that with this as well. I think the wood glue is better for gluing the 2 pieces together, like the first step we did. But for this step here, I think wooden glue, hot glue gun would be absolutely fine. It may even be a little easier maybe, because I mean this you have to like leave it alone and let dry, whereas the hot glue, like once it cools down, it's there. But it's totally up to you. So I did that 3 times, and then I wanted to give it, I didn't want it to have a full coverage of white paint. I just wanted like a dry brush effect, which I was wiping the brush on my hand to show you that it's dry. Yeah. So just a tip here, like I could not get any more paint to come out of this tube, but there is still so much paint in there. So I just snipped the end off and dipped my brush in there. Now I don't know if like when I was done, I used a bulldog clip to close the top. So I mean, a lot of it may be dried up by the time I go to use it again. I don't know, but oh well. I got some use out of it for this anyway. So I'm just taking some of the paint, and I never ever dip my paintbrush in water when I'm doing this. And I'm just very loosely just going over the whole snowflake with some white paint. And like I said, I am not going for complete coverage, just enough to give it a look of white, but still seeing the wood through. And I just want to mention again, like I said earlier, I let these dry overnight so the glue set before I even moved them. I just left them on the mat where I had glued them, didn't touch them again until I don't know what time it was the next day. And you don't have to paint them if you don't want to. Like the natural wood look would be nice as well, and not even like they were fine just as they were once they were all glued together. In my opinion, that still would have been nice. Or you can still add paint and choose a different color. You could do any color you want. So I decided this is my splat box, and I'm covering with an old mailing bag. And the idea was I was going to use the resist spray as an adhesive, because I wanted to add chunky glitter on top. But I could not get either. I have 2 bottles, and neither one of them would spray. And I had used the bigger bottle before, so it did used to work, but I could not get it to work. All would come out were these little strings, like you see that there, that reminded me of like silly string. And I tried switching the nozzles and nothing. I even took one of them and ran it under hot water, and it still wouldn't work. So I gave up on the idea of using that. I'm going to find an old container that I don't, that I can just toss and soak the nozzles in hot water and see if that'll solve the problem. But I wanted to move on, so I turned to Mod Podge. And I'm just giving it a coat of Mod Podge, and I'm not really concerned if the whole entire thing is getting covered, because I don't care if it's completely covered with glitter. I just wanted some just to get some sparkle. And the stuff I am using is called Diamond Dust, and it says it's distributed by Flora Craft. Now, I have no idea where I got this or how long ago I got it. I know I have had it for quite some time. Now it says is apply craft glue to object and sprinkle with diamond dust. Shake off excess. And it says you can use it on styrofoam balls to create frosted ornaments, artificial fruits, and flowers for a sugared look. Now, and I just want to tell you, if you get this on your fingers, this diamond dust, don't rub your fingers together hard because this stuff feels like glass. Like you get it on your skin and it hurts. So just letting you know. Like it is not, I wouldn't buy it again. Like it's cool looking, but it hurts the fingers. It really does. So I'm just going back in areas where I felt it could use a little more of the sparkle. And then I am moving on to the next one. And I only did one side just in case I didn't really care for it. Then I could show the non-sparkly side. And I let this dry overnight as well. And even still, excuse me, my throat's getting dry. Even still, like it's been 2 days later, and when I lift it up, I can hear like some of the sparkles falling off. But it's fine. It's just a Christmas ornament. I can always add more if, like, I don't think a lot of it's going to fall off. I think it's just I didn't shake it too much after, like, to get the excess off. So I think that's the only reason why some is still falling off. Excuse me again. So that is it for day number 5. I hope you like them, and they are not hard to make at all. So do give it a try, and they do look quite pretty on the Christmas tree, and I didn't add a hanger to them because it's not needed. Like you can just stick them in the tree and they'll stay in place. So I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.